my name is Enrica Jang. I am Executive Director of Poe Baltimore, the nonprofit organization that stewards the Edgar Allan Poe House and Museum, as well as Awards Administrator for the Saturday Visitor Awards. The Saturday Visitors are presented by Poe Baltimore, honoring a new generation of artists and writers inspired by Edgar Allan Poe. And I am here tonight with one of the winners of the 2020 Saturday Visitor Awards, Teresa Ballas, for her beautiful, beautiful piece, Poe's Berenice of 1835. Hello, Teresa. How are you?
Hi, very good. How are you?
No, wonderful. Congratulations on this incredible win this year.
Thank
Very
you
excited
very
for
much.
you.
Yes.
I want to explain something very special about your piece before I even ask you a question about it, because
Okay.
you won in the adaptations of Edgar Allan Poe's life or works category. And
Yeah.
portraiture is a part of the adaptations category because it's clearly bringing Poe to life. But I have to say, this is such an original and incredible way to do it. Can you please explain your piece and its composition?
Sure. So I really enjoyed the short story Berenice. So I really wanted to do something with Edgar Allan Poe and that short story. And I think I enjoyed the story so much because the narrator in the story sits in this chair and just stares at his cousin every time she passes. And he is just incredibly obsessed with these beautiful teeth she has. And he thinks that in a way she's making fun of him because he is having his own issues as far as his health and decay and what he feels he appears. So eventually, after watching her and her teeth more specifically for a very long period of time, he decides that he is going to take these teeth and possess them. As these teeth, like I say, are chomping at him, he decides to take her teeth out and put them in a little treasure box next to his chair as he continues to sit there, but not before he takes her and buries her without her teeth. So sort of a sick, twisted story, but I thought, what a way to portray Poe, because so many of his works are delving into that very deep, dark areas of our brains. So I thought that was very fitting.
Incredibly so. And so I'm looking at this wonderful portrait of like these teeth just ripping into
yes.
his brain. Absolutely incredible. And you said that so nicely in such this very nice way. To take her teeth instead of like he ripped them out of her face. That just tickled me.
Well, and I can sort of even see it. The whole thing was very vivid and vibrant to me with just the flow of how he described her moving in and out, and him. I could just picture him just sitting there and these teeth just making him seethe. Yeah, so it was.
Well, also, please explain the physical composition of this portrait. This is absolutely amazing, and people are going to be fascinated.
Thank you. So I love working with beads, and I really enjoy working with beads in any sort of composition. And I really, really like teeny tiny things. So I went on a hunt when I had the idea that I would like to do a portrait of Poe with this. I decided that I needed to find the smallest bead I possibly could. So this bead is a glass bead, and it is the size is 15, and it's just the almost like a pinhead size is the size of the bead. So I decided that what I would do is sort of sketch Poe out from his famous portrait, and then take a mouth and a brain and just kind of draw that into the side of his head to depict how those teeth are just possessing every portion of his brain, till he not only rips her teeth out, but rips his brain out in many ways. So I ended up using each tube that the bead comes in is about so big, and there were approximately 2,300 beads in each tube. And I just took these beads and placed glue onto the canvas in the portion where I drew him, and placed the beads in that area until I had him covered and somewhat shaded the way that I liked him. After that, I layered the beads in different portions of the portrait. So it gives the portrait a lot of texture. You can't really see it in a photograph, but there are areas of him that are raised over others that cause, and they make creases, in the deep parts of where a face would be, and layered with different colors to get different shading, and so on. So I ended up overall using over 214,000 beads. And no, I did not count them as I was putting them on, but given that I saved all the empty tubes that I used, and given that there are approximately 2,300 beads in each tube, I was able to come up with that estimate.
You counted them, didn't you? Didn't you?
No.
Detail, that's so incredible. Oh my goodness, that is absolutely amazing. Have you done work similar to this before, or had you done this process or this physical process with beadwork before?
Not in a portrait. I am working on a couple of other portraits right now, and finishing up a couple of historical figures that will be coming out. And and I have also started something for next year.
Oh goodness. All right. Well, I cannot wait to see this. Well, do each of the portraits have a little twist like this kind of fun, kind of macabre twist on it, or sort of a winking nod to something? Or
yes, there is some sort of element to them that goes with their history or their story. So I put that in there. But the dark romantic writers are favorites of mine to do things like this with, because it's so fun.
well, that's always one of my questions. What are your other inspirations? What are the dark romantic artists that you really adore?
I enjoy Nathaniel Hawthorne and his stories, and I'm mulling something to do with him. I was able to visit some of the areas in Salem, Massachusetts, and able to see some of his things. And I would really like to bring something out with that, although I'm still thinking about what that would look like and be. So that creation's still in here. I haven't come up with it yet.
Well, you're clearly a very creative person. What other kinds of work do you do, or what other can you tell us about other work that you're doing?
I also do wearable art. which is actually a piece I'm working on right now that will go along with my piece that hopefully will be in person next year. So, but I do wearable art. I do clothes and shoes, and purses as well, and just refashion all of those things. So that's a lot of fun too.
Oh, absolutely. Well, that is so amazing. One point of order, I'm curious about where you learned to pronounce. You said you pronounced it Berenice. I, for growing up, I always thought Berenice, and then someone corrected me to say Berenice, as in like rhymes with very spicy, but
Yeah.
Berenice.
Yeah, it's funny because every time I say that name, I kind of hesitate and roll my eyes at myself because I also think of the short story Rappaccini's Daughter. And the character in Rappaccini's Daughter's name is Beatrice. And
There are a bunch of them.
yeah. So yeah, so when I'm pronouncing both of those, either one of them, I'm always crossing their names over, which of course is another wonderful dark romantic story as well.
Indeed. Well,
Yes.
we can have everybody have a big fight about the pronunciation of
Yeah, there we
Berenice
go.
in
There we
the
go.
comments to this video. But I am so pleased to be able to chat with you about this and really get into this incredible detail because
Thank you.
of a piece that's such a beautiful and creative thing. And then you get into all the different layers and how exciting that is. Well, where can everybody find your work, more of your work?
You can go to facebook.com, and after facebook.com, the slash is Cailini, Cailini crafts. And another love of mine is doing work, Irish work, and Cailini is Irish for girls. So so that's why I chose that name.
And Poe is Irish, so there you go.
Yeah, yes. Oh, and we share the same birthday, January 19th.
Oh goodness! All right, well,
Yes.
very cool.
Yes.
Well, I was very excited to see a piece, a Berenice being recognized because Berenice was written at the Edgar Allan Poe House in Baltimore. So
Yes.
another little bit, but I encourage everybody to visit your site, find some of this really, really great stuff, and then I look forward to seeing you on your birthday and Poe's birthday. Entries from you next year for next year's Saturday Visitor Awards. Well, thank you so much. Congratulations on this incredible win, and we
Thank you
encourage
so
everyone
much.
to find this work. Thank you.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and thank you so much for nominating me, and of course then for the award. And I love the award.
Wonderful.
I
Wonderful.
love that medal.
Fantastic. Well, hey, Baltimore medals. Michael
Yep,
Phelps.
there you
Baltimore
go.
love gold medal. So, all right. Thank you so much. Have a good one. Have a good one.
Thank you so much.
Well, happy birthday to Teresa. Happy birthday to Edgar Allan Poe. Tuesday of last week turned 212. Teresa, much, much younger, of course. But such an incredible piece. Definitely one of my favorites from this past year, of course, because a piece inspired by a work that Poe wrote at Poe House. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our very last session, our last evening together for a while. Not forever, for a little while. We're going to take a little break in February as those entries are rolling in for the Saturday Visitor Awards. The portal is open. And then we will return in March with a series of interviews, hopefully with some of this year's 2021 Saturday Visitor Awards judges, perhaps even a sneak peek appearance by our keynote speaker. A little hush hush right now. We haven't announced that yet, but press release will be coming out soon for our guest of honor. So very excited. This year has started strong, and we are just rolling and starting already to put the program together for Saturday Visitor Awards for the festival in October. Hi, oh my goodness. how is everybody doing this evening? I see William out there, one of our winners, and then Teresa. Unfortunately, I made the mistake of listing her as a nominee. That's on me. My fault there. She was a winner of our 2020, one of our winners from last year, Saturday Visitor Awards. Definitely take a look at more of her work. And we will be chatting this evening about how you too can enter the Pantheon, become a Saturday Visitor Award winner by entering the 2021 Saturday Visitor Awards. So cover some ground that familiar with. We'll be talking this evening, some quick frequently asked questions and tips, information. Some of you have seen this series. I've been following this series. You've seen this information over and over again, but always good to get refreshers. But some quick frequently asked questions and tips. But then please use this opportunity to send any live questions. If you want to be brave, send some questions my way. I am here to answer some of your questions as the awards administrator, if I can be of help. But then we're also going to tell you how you can enter, get you some information so that you can, if you want to send some questions my way via email, happy to do that too. So first, dates to remember. Call for entry is opened as of Tuesday last week. Happy birthday, Edgar Allan Poe. Call for entries for the Saturday Visitor Awards have opened. Visit SaturdayVisitorAwards.org to enter. You have until May 30th, deadline to enter. Form will close at 11:59 p.m., 1 minute to midnight. So get those entries in. We are accepting entries on a rolling basis. I don't know that there's necessarily any benefit to submitting early. However, anticipate judges' fatigue. They'll probably, if we have a lot of entries, they'll probably be fresher in those first entries, and you'll be appearing in the list on that rolling basis. First in gets judged first, so there perhaps is a benefit that way. But the deadline to enter is May 30th. July 30th, the nominees will be announced after our judges have had an opportunity, 3 rounds of judging. July 30th, our official nominees for the 2020 awards announced. And then the winners will be announced October 2nd, Poe Fest International. That's the International Edgar Allan Poe Festival and Awards. Now, the way things are going, we are hopeful, shots in arms, that we will be able to have the festival and the awards in person this year, but there will be, of course, a virtual component. So we will hopefully be able to show the award ceremony live, both online and in person. But just anticipate that's, of course, still up in the air for all of us, but here's hoping. Now, SaturdayVisitorAwards.org is the website to get all of your information about the awards. The entry guidelines are there. They have been updated. You can download them as a PDF as you wish, or you just read them online. We do have a list of other frequently asked questions. I will be updating that list, as a matter of fact, this week, because we're seeing some questions roll in, multiples roll in from folks. We want to make sure that things are clear, but check out that if just in case your question has been anticipated already. Check out that list. Do feel free to send an email our way. If you have a question about the awards, about your entry, specific to your entry, contact@poefestinternational.org. We will be flashing that email again in just a little bit, but you have an opportunity to contact us before you submit your entry. No reason for you to be confused or worried about anything before you submit your piece. So please feel free to be in touch. The only thing we ask, please don't try to send our information or request information via social media in direct messages or tweets. Other than this evening, other than this live session where we encourage you to send your comments or questions now, after this, if you have specific questions about your piece, please don't tag us in questions. Go ahead and send an email or go to the website and send a message via the portal, and then a staff person can actually answer your question, and that's the best way to get a hold of us. Saturday Visitor Awards presented in 2 categories. The first, adaptations of Poe's life or works, and then second, original works inspired by Poe. And of course, we have a little video to talk about those differences, the difference in those 2 categories. portal is open. We are ready for your entries. So 2 categories, make this a little bit clearer. Adaptations of Poe's life or works include some examples. Portraits, as you saw this evening with Teresa's winning piece, can get pretty creative with those portraits of Poe. There is no limit to genre or medium when it comes to these entries. So any kind of portrait of Poe. Biography counts in the adaptations category because of the narrative nature of biography. Now, please note that the Saturday Visitor Awards are intended to recognize artistic works rather than academic criticisms. We're not looking for papers. We're not looking for publications for an academic audience or for criticism, looking perhaps for adaptations of Poe's life, even biography of people in Poe's life would fall in this category. And then, of course, film, dramatic adaptation of Poe's life or works, musical interpretation of Poe's works, any kind of true adaptation, more one-to-one of Poe's works, life or works, I should say. Now, the original works category, much more broad. Poe's life as character in film, novel, or play. It could be an example, sequel, prequel, or any basis for an original story in a form of novel, original poetry, short story, novellas. We've seen just about any length at this point for the award. So we're very open as far as the category in that sense. Now, note, of course, artistic works, all artistic works, original, all artistic works might skate back and forth between these categories. And I want to reassure you that if you have any questions about where your piece may fall, do not hesitate to get in contact with us, and we can help guide you before you submit your entry. But also note that if the judges decide, if the slate of judges decide that the piece might be better in the other category, you'll just quietly be shuttled over to that other category without any demerit or any loss of points or anything like that. There's no problem in putting you in another category. So worst comes to worst, the judges decide, oh, no, you belong in another category, and you'll be judged in that category instead. So make your best judgment, or get in touch with us, and we will help you. But that hopefully is clear for everyone. Eligibility. So media, art, performance, and/or writing that adapts or is inspired by Poe's life and works. We have seen film, we have seen immersive theater, we have seen just about any medium, genre, humor, horror, these kinds of things, all are welcome. There are no restrictions in that sense. Now, the piece, however, must have been not just created, but released, printed, distributed, or first performed between January 1, 2018 and December 31, 2020. That is sometime in the previous 3 years. Now, somebody made an interesting point to me in email that if a screenplay perhaps may have been written, copywritten in 1 year, but only performed within the past 3 years, in that case, it would be the performance that would be entered for the award, not necessarily just the screenplay. However, if both the screenplay and the performance fall within the range of eligibility, both could be entered as separate entries, and there would be a separate fee for each entry. But that gives you a sense of how a piece might be split in that sense. The performance, of course, is its own thing, separate from the script, even though the script guides that. So you could perhaps have 2 entries in that sense, or the performance from one of the people in the ensemble could also be an entry. So released, printed, distributed, or first performed between January 1, 2018 and December 31, 2020. But any piece entered, any piece has to fall within this period of eligibility. So if written previous to this period of eligibility, then perhaps only the performance would count. Reprinted or re-released materials are discouraged. Some people do get a little bit cute about this, and unfortunately, if the piece has not changed in a material way, or if we find that the piece it was actually released prior to these years of eligibility, then unfortunately, the judges will disqualify the work. And once get you booted, unfortunately. You don't get your feedback. So you want to be honest about and everybody's honest, I know. We do want to be clear about that. So unless the piece has been changed in a material way, or unless the segment has been changed in a material way, reprinted or re-released materials are discouraged. Now, a work may be nominated in more than 1 year, may have in fact been one of our official nominees. However, a winning entry may not be entered again. So a previously nominated piece can be entered again and be submitted to the judges. This is a new slate of judges. Some holdovers. We've had some folks with us for a few years now, but there are always new judges on the slate. So new people, fresh eyes will be seeing these pieces. So you never know. So a previously nominated piece may be entered again, but a winning entry may not be entered again. And I hope that distinction is clear. So before we continue on, again, want to encourage anybody, if you have any questions, please do feel free to send those in the comments. We'll try to address some of your more top-level questions this evening. But again, if you're a little bit shy, or if you have specific questions about your piece, we'll be showing you that email. It's contact@pofestinternational.org if you have any questions. Okay, so one of the questions, now that the portal is open, now that hopefully everybody has had at least an opportunity to take a look and see, you've seen that these questions are on the entry form. Some 3 questions I feel are pretty important and will help the judges understand the piece. It gives an artist the opportunity to explain the piece to the judges. Artists will be asked to provide a description or synopsis of the work, including medium or genre, but also note size, dimensions, duration, or any site-specific or process details that might not be readily apparent to the judges upon viewing the link to your work. Obviously, the judges can't be with the piece in person because all of the judging is done remotely. So we provide an opportunity for the artist to really share with the judges something that might not be readily apparent. In Teresa's incredible and winning piece, all of the beads, all of that intricate work that went into that piece, she was very smart in showing us some of those process details as part of her entry. But this was an opportunity for her to really explain everything that went into the work, and that will help the judges to understand perhaps the piece, the elements that might not be readily apparent because they cannot be in person with the work. This is also important perhaps for theatrical experiences that you may enter. We've had a lot of immersive theater as entries the past 3 years. So you want to explain to the judges the cast or how many people are involved in the project bringing something like this together. So this is your opportunity to really share with the judges those details. The second, long form entries such as films, novels, scripts, or series. Obviously, when you have a competition where a painting is being judged against a novel, they're in the same category. They're being judged against one another. So how can the judges compare these things? We do ask that because of time and because of the number of entries that the judges may see, we ask for the artist to tell the judge, give the judge an indication of the highlight in the piece that they want the judges to kind of take a look at first, something that's going to get them through the first round. So to highlight a maximum of 10,000 words or a timestamp maximum 20-minute duration. And this gives the judges an opportunity to look at specifically at the part of the piece or highlight that the artist feels is the strongest. It's going to get them through that first round of judging. So a long form entry such as film, novel, or script, you will be asked if you're submitting a long form entry. All of that is fine, but you're going to be asked to provide the judges a timestamp or a maximum of 10,000 words for them to look at first. Now, if you decide you cannot sacrifice that you want them to look at the whole thing, they will default to the first 10,000 words or the first 20 minutes of your entry. Now, the judges do have an opportunity to look at more of the piece in the subsequent rounds of judging that make it to that next level, but just have in mind when you're submitting your piece, what do you want the judges to see first? What's really going to get their attention first? And this is the opportunity to tell them what to look at first. And then in the subsequent rounds, the judges may decide to go poking around and sort of see what else, what is about this piece, and look a little bit more. All right. Finally, statement and rights holder. We do give the artist an opportunity to really just draw a direct line from their work to Edgar Allan Poe, vice versa. Share with the judges how the work is, how Edgar Allan Poe is the subject or inspiration for this work, how the piece celebrates Poe's legacy, keeps Poe in popular culture. What about this piece is not just a commercial undertaking, but truly does belong within Poe's legacy, and how it is a part of Poe's legacy. And we ask the artist to provide a statement, character limited 10,000 characters for that. So you have an opportunity to really try to connect with the judges with this as well. But of course, your piece is paramount. Now, there is a fee for entries. There is no limit for the number of pieces that someone can enter, as long as they fall within those 3 years of eligibility. But each piece will require its own fee to be entered and to be judged. The judge's consideration will be asked if you understand that. So, all right. Well, I hope that gives everyone a nice overview of what we're looking for, how to enter, the who, what, where, why, how to enter. And once again, SaturdayVisitorAwards.org is the website to find all of the information, and that is where to go to enter. We have a handy dandy button at the very, very top of the website now where you can submit and enter the 2021 SVAs. Well, there you go. It always feels like it goes pretty quickly. I'm so happy to see some friendly folks and friendly faces in there. So, all right, well, thank you everyone for joining us. And I've enjoyed coming to talk to you every Monday for the last 2 months. We will return, taking a break in February as we focus on the awards entries that are coming in. But we will be back in March with hopefully interviews with our Saturday Visitor Awards judges when we unveil our slate. And then, of course, I cannot wait for the big reveal for our keynote speaker and guest of honor for this year's ceremony. And we'll have a little bit more information for everybody soon. Please connect with us. We are on Facebook, Twitter, Poe Baltimore, on Instagram, and on YouTube channel, Poe Fest International, also Poe Baltimore, and you can find us. And we hope that you will connect with us, continue to follow as we release more information. Portal for more information about the festival coming up soon as well, and the portal for vendors and other creators who want to be part of the festival. That information will soon be available. If you want to help in this mission, if you are interested in helping keep Poe's Chamber door open both in person and online, please do consider a donation to Poe Baltimore. Text Poe Baltimore to 44321 to donate. Your donations help us continue our mission celebrating Edgar Allan Poe's legacy both here in Baltimore and beyond. Hi, Denise. I see a question from William. Do we get notified that our submissions have been received? If you submitted successfully, the very last screen you would have seen once you hit submit was that your submission had been received. So you should have seen that screen when you submitted. If you want to send an email to me to make sure that you got it, but we got it. We're good. All right. I don't see any other questions coming in. I will remind everybody, a little plug for Poe House. Poe House is open for reservations. We are open on a very limited basis, reservations only. Unfortunately, walk-ups cannot be accommodated at this time. Sorry, Senator. Oh, come on, that's funny. I'm a little late for that meme. It was just a weekend, but all right. Thank you, everybody. Have a good February. And we will see you in a month. And thanks very much.